Hi there, everybody. Welcome to my little corner of Appalachia. My name is Lost Prophet, and this is my humble camp. For those of you who are here because of Juicehead's video yesterday, which gave a hat tip to my video from December on who's to blame for this particular game right here, first of all, welcome. Second of all, thank you to Juicehead for the hat tip. Really appreciate it. And if you want to like and subscribe, I suggest you don't do that here on YouTube because I've pretty much abandoned this platform, even though clearly I find myself drawn back here from time to time. Not sure why that is. But yeah, if you'd like to do that, there may or may not be a subtle hint on the screen as to where you can follow me, and that applies to Twitter as well. So if you guys want to check out any of the live streams that I do, you might see where I'm going with that. But in the meantime today, we have something I want to talk about, and that is not so much the announcement and release itself of Fallout First, but the backlash that it's caused in the community. And I'm going to call out a couple of YouTubers in particular because, well, they seem to like to point out that they are going to call out other YouTubers. So this is apparently a big deal to them, calling people out. Well, here, you're going to be called out now because the two of you couldn't be more fucking wrong, you goddamn wastes of space. So TkS-Mantis and LegacyKillaHD. By the way, who do you think you are? Fucking pretend Randy Orton with that name? Get out of here. But no, you guys seem to want to jump on anybody, and I mean anybody, who tries to be positive about this game, and you're going to call them a shill. Okay, well, sometimes that's warranted, okay? We do have shills in this world. We do have guys who are paid to exclusively go to Bethesda events, play Bethesda products before everybody else, get content out there before everybody else. And of course, I'm talking about the one, the only, Seattle's very own LegacyKillaHD himself, the snake oil salesman who even dresses the part. That's Oxhorn, okay? That's a shill. But the guy you're attacking, yeah, he's not a shill. Okay, you are attacking KingFanMan. It is KingFanMan who I am here to defend today. Why? Because, well, for starters, KingFanMan is my friend. Okay, I had the honor of hanging out with him, his son Wolfman, and Skullsy TV. In fact, there's us hanging out at the Bethesda booth this past summer at E3. And let me tell you a little story about how the four of us got to get to the point where that picture was taken. Okay? Because if you do a little snooping on KingFanMan's YouTube channel, you might think he's a Bethesda shill. He's very, very positive. That's because that's a decision he made. He decided he was going to be a positive YouTuber. And he's not terribly big. You know, his subscriber count isn't like any of yours, at the very least. And where it is pretty respectable given that he is trying to maintain a 100% positive attitude towards this entire fiasco. Okay, so not terrible. Give him props for that, for starters. But a shill? No, my friend. Because if you dig through KingFanMan's content, yes, you will see that he was indeed, in fact, at BE3 this year. That's right, he was at the Bethesda presentation. In fact, yes, he was invited as a content creator to attend that event. He and Skullsy both went. But let me tell you a little something about that invite and their attendance. When you're a shill, okay, you get paid to shill something. You get paid to promote something. That's what being a shill is. Okay, you shill for a product. You are paid to put in a good word for it. Like, say, if Dollar Shave Club sponsored my video. They're not. Nobody sponsors my videos. But if they paid me to sponsor this video, I would say nice things about Dollar Shave Club. That's what being a shill is. Or at least being a having sponsored content is. It could be perceived as being a shill, but in the basic sense, that's what it is. Now, was it a case of them being paid to shill Bethesda products? Absolutely not, because while Skullsy and KingFanMan were invited to the BE3 event as content creators, Bethesda did not pay for them to get to Los Angeles. Bethesda did not put them up in a hotel. Bethesda did not pay for them to Uber around Los Angeles. Okay? Bethesda didn't pay for any of these things. Bethesda did not pay for them to have passes to the convention itself. They all had gamer passes. Okay? Bethesda didn't pay for those. Bethesda didn't give them a dime. That is a thing that did not happen. They're not shills, okay? In fact, all of us, all three of us, had to scrape, save, and fundraise and rely on the generosity of our friends in some cases, because some of us have friends in high places that aren't at Bethesda, in order to make it to Los Angeles and do this, for us, once-in-a-lifetime event, because this was our first time at something this big. You know, we're not paid by the industry to hop around to all these events and give our opinions on stuff. You know, none of us are paid to go to E3 2018 and get stalked by Todd Howard. Hi, Camel. No, you see, I don't know why you're jumping on FanMan. Why? Because he tries to be positive about a game you don't like and about a company that you're giving flack to, incorrectly, I might add, because of their current direction they're taking with their business practices. So you're going to jump on KingFanMan for being a shill for that. Well, not only are you wrong about KingFanMan being a shill, but I think you're all wrong about blaming Bethesda and any sort of Bethesda Studios greed for this. Look, yeah, is it greed? Oh, you bet your booties it's greed, buddy. You bet your booty it's greed. But is it greed on the part of BGS? No. Because if you came here because of Juicehead's video, Juicehead has put it all together with not only my video, not only the Luke what's-his-name's video that came months later, but basically said the same thing mine did. Juice has done a little, extra digging on his own. And believe me, Juice is another one who's tried to be at least objective about this entire situation. And what conclusion did he come to? Same one I came to. This is interference by Providence Equity Partners, who currently own an unknown stake, in Bethesda Game Studios' parent company, ZeniMax Media. You see, they bought a 25% stake at $300 million. Uh-oh. Oh, a super mutant. Let's go get him. All right. So they bought a 25% stake at $300 million. There you go. Oh, you guys. And then they bought an unknown extra stake at $150 million a couple of years later. Where you at? I hear you. I hear you. You leave my taters alone. Beating on my tatoes. You jerk. Aw, he messed up my tatoes. Okay, I need to get some tatoes. See, this is what happens when you do a video on the fly. Why did my bass start playing again when nobody is there? That is weird. This is like the third time I've tried to record this video, and that's the third time that has happened with nobody around. But anyway, the point is this, okay? Yeah, the game is broken as it just decided to demonstrate on the fly. But KingFanMan being a shill? Yeah, you're a little crazy on that one. I'm sorry. The answer is no, and you guys need to back off of him, number one. And number two, probably apologize to him, because I'm not going to get into personal details. Now, FanMan has talked about this on his own, but it is not my place, even though I am his friend, to talk about the situation that he's finds himself in at the moment. But really, at the end of the day, probably not the best time to dump on some guy because you're angry with a private equity firm in Rhode Island doing something to a game franchise you love. Something that you don't like. Jumping on KingFanMan, probably not the way to do it. Jumping on other small content creators is shills, because they're expressing their love for a game at a particularly bad time for that game. Yeah, dude, that's what we in the industry like to call a dick move. Mantis, Legacy Killer, Randy Orton wannabe HD. You guys need to back up off FanMan and give him an apology. Take your hate train and pull it into another station, please and thank you. All right? Really, you guys, if Juice is right, okay, if Juicehead is right, you guys are helping to kill the very thing that you are complaining about having being ruined in your eyes right now. Why? Because they introduced ESO Plus for Fallout 76 at a very bad time. Great. I hope your righteous anger and righteous indignation serve you well in the future, but today they have served you very poorly because you have piled on one creator and probably others who do not deserve it in any sense of the word. Okay? You guys just back off. Take your anger, go focus it on somebody else. And surprisingly enough, I'm going to recommend against focusing it on Todd Howard and Pete Hines or anybody in Rockville, Maryland. Your problem isn't in Rockville, Maryland, you guys. Your problem is in downtown Providence, Rhode Island. Ironically, exactly where I was the day Juice had released his first video covering the Luke Kids video that came after mine. You know, the other video that Juice showed underneath his, that video. I was, ironically enough, in downtown Providence that day. Oh, well. Funny how that works out. I'm usually late to the party. I'm not used to being here on time, let alone early. You guys, though, you guys, I think, need to leave the party or at least go to a different one. Because you're spewing the acid on the wrong people. Not just KingFanMan, but Bethesda Game Studios, too. Do you really think this is BGS's intention after 25 years? Do you geniuses really think that this is definitely where BGS wants to go with their IPs? Are you that self-absorbed to think you are that right and you are piling all of your hate in the right place? Whether it be at Bethesda Game Studios or at a small content creator who's trying to be positive about an otherwise broken fucking game like KingFanMan. No, you guys are hating the wrong people. And at the risk of sounding political, you should be focusing your hate. There it goes again. On the people who force their subordinates to rush out broken messes like this game. The people who acquire properties and attempt to wring every last dime of profit and dividend that they can out of it. That's right, folks. The ever-popular 1%. The people at Providence Equity Partners. I'm going to go investigate this Phantom Base thing. But if you guys want to follow me, like I said, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Just take the out of the title of this page, and you've got it. And LegacyKillaHD, TkS-Mantis, you guys owe FanMan an apology. FanMan is my friend. Chris is my brother. We're from the same generation. We grew up playing the same games. And there are things that I know about Chris that mean he will never, ever, ever be a shill. I promise you guys that. He's not a shill. Take your anger somewhere else. In the meantime, it's time for me to once again, hopefully, walk away from YouTube. Thanks once again to Juicehead. Man, that's creepy.